The Chicago Sky are in absolute chaos tonight, and all eyes are on none other than Angel Reese. Reports are flooding in that Reese, the face of the franchise and one of the most polarizing stars in the WNBA, has just walked out of practice, leaving her teammates, coaches, and even the front office in total shock. But what makes this story even wilder is the claim that this wasn't just a heat-of-a-moment decision. Multiple insiders are leaking that Reese has been boiling with frustration for weeks, and today it finally erupted. From heated arguments with coaches, to icy stares in the locker room, to rumors of players taking sides, this is shaping up to be one of the biggest meltdowns the league has ever seen. But the real question is, why now? Why is Angel Reese, who has built her brand as the Bayou Barbie and quickly become one of the most marketable names in women's basketball, suddenly at war with her own team? And could this practice walkout signal the beginning of the end for her time in Chicago? Stay tuned, because what we've uncovered will leave you speechless. Angel Reese's journey with the Chicago SK was supposed to be a fairy tale. Drafted as one of the most hyped rookies in recent memory, the Bayou Barbie carried not just her talent, but a larger-than-life personality and fan following that the WNBA hadn't seen in years. From her college dominance at LSU to her viral moments that kept her name trending on social media, Reese was positioned as the future of women's basketball. Chicago thought they were landing a generational star who could bring both wins on the court and a surge in ticket sales and national attention. At first, the plan seemed to work. Reese's rookie season was filled with highlights, double-doubles, physical plays that had fans cheering and critics fuming, and an undeniable competitive fire that made every game must-see TV. She wasn't just playing basketball, she was building an empire. Brands wanted her, networks wanted to feature her, and fans lined up to buy her jerseys. Chicago quickly became one of the league's most talked-about teams, not because of championships, but because of Reese's magnetism. But as the spotlight grew brighter, so did the pressure. Behind the scenes, whispers started to surface that Reese's approach didn't always mesh with the culture of the team. Her fiery attitude, while beloved by her fans, sometimes clashed with veteran players who wanted a calmer locker room dynamic. Coaches reportedly struggled to balance giving Reese the freedom to be herself while also maintaining order during practices and games. Then came the turning point. A string of losses late in the season. Instead of being united, the locker room began to fracture. Players allegedly felt that Reese's star power allowed her to play by different rules, while others resented the media circus that followed her every move. According to insiders, even team officials started quietly debating how to manage the Angel Reese brand, while still focusing on building a winning team. The tension reached another level when Reese began skipping optional team activities, choosing instead to prioritize appearances, brand deals, and high-profile events outside of basketball. While some teammates defended her, arguing that she was simply maximizing her platform, others reportedly grew frustrated, believing her commitment to the team was slipping. The Sky's front office, meanwhile, faced a nightmare scenario. The player they had marketed as the future face of the franchise was starting to look like a flight risk. And this all set the stage for the stunning practice meltdown. According to leaks, the mood around Chicago's practices had been tense for weeks. Coaches demanded more structure, veterans pushed for more accountability. Reese, however, was determined to protect her image and stand her ground. With cameras always waiting and fans always watching, the stakes couldn't have been higher. The practice walkout wasn't just about one heated argument. It was the climax of months of tension, frustration, and conflicting priorities between a rising superstar and an organization scrambling to keep control. To understand just how explosive this moment is, you need to see the bigger picture. A team that banked its entire future on one player, a locker room split by loyalty and resentment, and a front office now panicking over what comes next. This is no longer just about basketball, it's about power, influence, and whether the Chicago Sky can survive without their brightest star. And if the rumors are true, the drama is only beginning. The storm finally broke during what was supposed to be a routine practice at the Chicago Sky training facility. Witnesses say the energy in the gym was tense even before the first whistle blew. The team had been on edge for weeks, with players quietly murmuring about Reese's growing distance from the group. Coaches had reportedly been pushing for tighter discipline and more focus, while Angel Reese seemed determined to assert her independence, both on and off the court. According to one insider, the session started with drills that highlighted exactly what was wrong: a lack of unity. Veterans barked orders, younger players tried to keep up, and Reese, normally the fiery heartbeat of the team, was visibly frustrated. Sources claim she was late to huddles, dismissive of feedback, and more interested in controlling the narrative of her own image than in blending with the collective goals of the team. Things exploded when head coach Teresa Weatherspoon allegedly confronted Reese directly during a scrimmage. Accounts vary on what was said, but the gist was clear. Reese needed to put the team before herself. Teammates later revealed that the tone was sharp, even humiliating, delivered in front of the entire squad. For a player who has built her identity on confidence and strength, the public call-out was too much to handle. Instead of backing down, Reese snapped. Multiple sources describe her throwing down her practice jersey and storming out of the gym. Some say she yelled that she was done with this, while others claim she muttered about being underappreciated and disrespected. Whatever the exact words, the message was unmistakable. Reese was not going to accept being told how to play or how to act. The aftermath was immediate. Players were left stunned, frozen on the court as their brightest star walked out. Coaches tried to regain control of the session, but the damage had been done. Reports indicate that team officials scrambled behind the scenes to do damage control, fearing that the story would leak before they had a chance to spin it. But by the next morning, whispers had already reached the press. The first twist came not from the organization but from Reese herself. Instead of staying silent, she took to social media. Hours after the practice meltdown, Angel posted a cryptic message on her Instagram story: "Know your worth. Don't let anyone dim your light." While she didn't name names, the timing was impossible to ignore. Fans immediately connected the dots, and speculation went into overdrive. Was Reese sending a message to the sky? Was she hinting at a possible departure? To make matters worse, within 24 hours, reports surfaced that Reese's management team had already been contacted by other WNBA franchises curious about her availability. This was the moment that transformed a heated practice spat into a full-blown crisis. For the first time, Chicago had to face the unthinkable. What if Angel Reese walked away from the team altogether? The twist wasn't just in Reese's defiance, it was in how quickly the narrative slipped out of the sky's control. Instead of framing the situation as a player needing guidance, the headlines screamed of betrayal, drama, and potential collapse. Reese, savvy as ever with her public image, had turned a private outburst into a battle for respect, painting herself as the victim of an organization that didn't appreciate her. The conflict was no longer internal, it was out in the open. The Sky were desperate to downplay the situation, but insiders leaked that team executives were now in emergency mode, debating whether to discipline Reese, smooth things over, or quietly begin exploring trade scenarios. This was no longer just about a walkout at practice. The first twist revealed a terrifying possibility for Chicago. Their future star, the cornerstone of their marketing, might be ready to burn the bridge entirely. And if she left, it wouldn't be quiet. It would be loud, messy, and potentially franchise-altering. The battle lines had been drawn and the basketball world was watching. If the walkout had been a spark, the days that followed turned it into a wildfire. By midweek, what started as whispers about tension in practice had blown up into full-scale coverage across sports media. The Chicago Sky's internal crisis was no longer contained within the walls of the gym, it was front-page drama for the entire WNBA world. The escalation began with leaks. A well-connected insider told a Chicago-based sports blog that the situation between Angel Reese and the Sky was irreparable. According to this source, Reese felt not only disrespected during practice, but also misled by the organization's promises. The much-hyped new practice facility that Reese had been promoting on social media, insiders claimed construction was months behind schedule, with little chance of being ready by the promised date. To Reese, this was more than just bad logistics, it was a betrayal. The Sky front office scrambled to do damage control. Within hours, they announced a special media day showcasing supposed progress on the facility. Photos of construction workers hammering beams and coaches smiling in hard hats were circulated online, but the stunt backfired. Fans pointed out that the images looked staged. One viral post even showed that the same wall had been photographed from 3 different angles to make it seem like multiple parts of the building existed. Instead of calming the storm, the move poured gasoline on it. Meanwhile, Reese went silent in the press, but louder on her platforms. She posted another cryptic message: "Don't confuse loyalty with silence. I've said enough. Privately, it's time, y'all hear me." That single sentence sent shockwaves through the league. Comment sections filled with speculation. Was Reese about to call out her own team publicly? Would she demand a trade? Was she even considering stepping away from the WNBA entirely? And then came the shocking reveal. Just as Chicago's ownership tried to spin the situation, A leaked recording surfaced allegedly from inside the practice facility. The audio, which spread like wildfire on social media, captured fragments of a heated exchange between Reese and head coach Teresa Webb. The key moment, Reese shouting, "I'm not your problem, I'm your solution. If you can't see that, then maybe I don't belong here." Fans didn't just hear anger, they heard conviction. Reese wasn't merely frustrated, she was laying down an ultimatum. And in that moment, the story shifted from player meltdown to star rebellion. The Sky were blindsided. Their attempt to control the narrative had collapsed. What they framed as miscommunication was now exposed as something far more serious. Their best player openly questioning her future with the franchise. The escalation didn't stop there. National outlets picked up the story. ESPN ran a segment titled "Is Angel Reese Done in Chicago?" Analysts debated whether the Sky could survive losing their marquee star, with some suggesting that Reese's growing profile off the court meant she might not need the team as much as they needed her. Behind closed doors, panic spread. Insiders revealed that ownership convened an emergency meeting to discuss all possible outcomes, from suspensions to trade talks. But the biggest revelation came when one source leaked that Reese's representatives had been quietly fielding calls from at least 2 rival franchises. This wasn't just speculation, any more teams were circling. Sensing blood in the water. For Reese, the shocking reveal wasn't just about exposing Chicago's missteps, it was about power. By letting the audio leak and carefully timing her social media posts, she had flipped the script. No longer was she the angry rookie melting down at practice. She was the star standing up for herself, daring the organization to undervalue her in front of the world. And the scariest part for Chicago? Fans seemed to be siding with her. Hashtags like #StandWithReese and #Skylies trended for hours. Clips of the leaked audio racked up millions of views. The narrative had swung completely in Reese's favor. The escalation had reached a boiling point, and the shocking reveal made one thing clear. This was no longer about a single practice meltdown. This was about trust, power, and the very future of the franchise. Reese had drawn a line in the sand and the world was waiting to see if Chicago would step over it, or watch their brightest star walk away forever. The moment the leaked audio dropped, the basketball world didn't just react, it exploded. Public and industry responses came in fast, furious, and divided. What was once dismissed as just another Angel Reese headline suddenly became a referendum on professionalism, loyalty, and star power in the WNBA. Fans were the first to light up social media. On Twitter, one viral post read, "She didn't quit on practice, she stood up for herself. Stars don't settle for scraps." Within minutes, #StandWithReese shot to the top of trending charts. Younger fans, especially those who had followed her through LSU, rallied to her defense, painting her as a trailblazer who refused to play politics. To them, this wasn't selfishness, it was leadership. But not everyone agreed. Critics latched onto the meltdown as proof of immaturity. Sports radio hosts compared Reese to a reality TV star trapped in a basketball jersey. One harsh segment on a national show called her the WNBA's Antonio Brown moment, suggesting that her talent was now overshadowed by distractions. That soundbite spread just as quickly as the supportive hashtags, fueling a polarizing debate that split the fanbase down the middle. Within the league, reactions were just as intense. Anonymous coaches gave contradictory takes. One told a reporter, "This is exactly the type of fire you want in a player. Angel Reese wants to win, and that passion sometimes spills over." Another countered bluntly, "If Chicago bends to her, they'll lose the locker room." Teammates, caught in the crossfire, offered carefully measured words. Guard Marina Mabrey publicly downplayed the situation, saying, "We're a family. Families argue. Families move on." But insiders leaked that several players privately felt betrayed. One veteran reportedly told friends, "If she wants out, just say it. Don't burn us in the process." Industry analysts saw something larger at play. Reese's power struggle became a symbol of the WNBA's growing pains as it transitions from niche league to mainstream spotlight. Columnists argued that stars like Caitlin Clark, A'ja Wilson, and now Reese are no longer just athletes, they're brands. And when brands clash with organizations, the fallout is always messy. Sponsors were watching closely too. Reebok, which had inked a major deal with Reese earlier this year, found itself dragged into the discourse. Was Reese's meltdown bad for business or proof that she was a cultural force worth backing? Marketing insiders suggested it could go either way. If she flames out, it's a nightmare. But if she wins this battle and thrives, Reebok just hit the jackpot. One branding consultant said. Even retired legends weighed in. Shaquille O'Neal, who has long defended Reese, posted a cryptic message on Instagram. "They call it attitude. I call it knowing your worth." Meanwhile, another former WNBA star criticized her directly, warning, "Talent fades, reputation doesn't. She better be careful." The league office's silence only amplified the frenzy. With no official statement from Commissioner Kathy Engelbert, speculation grew. Some saw it as calculated the WNBA letting the drama fuel headlines. Others saw it as weakness, proof the league was afraid of disciplining one of its most marketable stars. By the end of the week, the reactions had turned Reese into more than just a player. She was now a polarizing figurehead. Supporters hailed her as a revolutionary forcing the league to evolve. Detractors branded her a diva dragging the sport backward. One thing was certain, nobody was neutral. The public and the industry had both chosen sides, and the Chicago Sky were trapped in the middle of a storm they could no longer control. Just when it seemed like the dust might settle, a shocking new twist sent the entire situation spiraling into uncharted territory. Late Friday night, a mysterious clip surfaced on Reddit, a grainy cell phone recording that insiders swear was captured during a closed-door Chicago Sky meeting. In the video, you can faintly hear Angel Reese's voice, raw and emotional, declaring, "I can't do this anymore. Either the staff changes, or I'm done." The room is silent, followed by what sounds like a coach muttering, "Then maybe you should be done." The authenticity of the clip couldn't be verified, but the damage was immediate. Within hours, it was being reposted across Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, pulling millions of views. Fans dissected every second, slowing it down, amplifying the audio, debating who said what. For many, this wasn't just proof of a meltdown, it was evidence of a full-blown standoff between Reese and the Chicago Sky's leadership. And then came the kicker. A source close to the organization leaked to a local reporter that Reese had already reached out to 2 Eastern Conference teams about a potential trade. The insider claimed the conversations weren't official, but the interest was mutual. Suddenly, this wasn't just about a bad practice session or a heated moment, it was about Reese plotting her escape. Chicago's front office scrambled. Publicly, they stayed quiet, but behind the scenes, insiders revealed panic. Losing Reese wouldn't just hurt the team's roster, it would destroy ticket sales, sponsorships, and the fragile sense of hope that the Sky had built around her as their franchise centerpiece. "She walks, and we're finished," one executive reportedly confessed. The players, meanwhile, were left in limbo. Was their star teammate about to abandon them? Or were they about to lose their coaches instead? Tension simmered at practice. With multiple reports of teammates avoiding Reese altogether. One journalist even noted that during warm-ups, Reese stretched on the far side of the gym, isolated from the rest of the team. But the most chilling moment came in Reese's own words. Late Sunday, she posted a cryptic message on Instagram. "Sometimes you gotta burn bridges to build highways." No explanation, no context. Just that. Fans erupted. Was she confirming the leaked clip, hinting at her exit, or sending a warning to management that the clock was ticking? By Monday morning, trade rumors exploded. Could Reese join the New York Liberty, aligning with Sabrina? Could she land in Washington with Shakira Austin, forming a young or was she bluffing, using leverage to force Chicago's hand? The league itself was on edge, with whispers that the commissioner's office might intervene to stabilize the situation. But every hour that passed without a statement only fueled more speculation. And so here we are on the brink of either the biggest trade saga the WNBA has ever seen or the most dramatic internal collapse in Chicago Sky history. Angel Reese has lit the fuse, but nobody knows where the explosion will land. Will she walk away from the Sky and rebuild her career elsewhere? Or will Chicago cave to her demands and risk fracturing the locker room forever? One thing is certain, the storm is far from over, and the next move belongs to Angel Reese. This is the moment where everything hangs in the balance. Angel Reese's future, the Chicago Sky's stability, and the WNBA's entire narrative could shift with just one decision. Is Reese about to force her way out and join a rival superteam? Or will Chicago bend under the pressure and reshape the franchise around her demands? Either way, we are witnessing history unfold in real time, and the fallout could redefine the league for years to come. But now, I want to hear from you. Do you think Angel Reese is serious about walking away from the Sky, or is this all part of a bigger strategy to seize control inside the locker room? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because this debate is just getting started. And don't forget subscribe right now so you don't miss the next shocking twist. Trust me, you won't want to blink.